I grew up in the 80s, and the only programming language I was really familiar with was BASIC, and I didn't really get into it until high school, and then I really didn't get heavily into it until my early 20s, which doesn't make any sense because nobody used BASIC anymore. I mean, you can get Visual Basic, sure, for Windows, making applications. I even took Visual Basic courses at the local community college, trying to get the MCSD certification back in the day. That was a waste of time. I liked writing programs in BASIC, and for a while I was trying to learn to write roguelikes, and I really had enjoyed playing Super Star Trek on our old DEC Rainbow computer when I was a kid. Now Super Star Trek came out for the mainframe computers in the 70s. It was ported to the home PCs when they came out. Like the Apple and the Commodore and all that. And if you're not familiar with it, basically you're the Starship Enterprise under Kirk, and you're navigating through all these different sectors of the galaxy. It's turn-based, and you have to destroy the Klingons before a certain star date you lose. And there's there's a number of stars in each system, and a number of Klingon warships, and there's planets, there's star bases. You can dock on the star base. You can also blow them up with torpedoes if you're reckless and whatever. And there were more advanced versions of the game that came out, like EGA Trek, and then there was other Star Trek games that had like Romulans also, and whatever. And Borg, I think there was one, someone had the Borg in it. But anyways, I'm digressing. I wanted to remake that, but as a roguelike, so I did, and I called it the heavy metal, not gay, menthol cigarette, Kate on my lap wearing leather straps, Star Trek ripoff space game. Now I know that doesn't make any sense. It was kind of an inside joke between me and my friends. I had a friend who was dating this girl named Kate, so I was just like busting his balls. But I really enjoyed making it. And I was writing this game in my late 20s when I should have been learning something useful with my time economically. I'll be smoking my clove cigarettes and working on my program. I was really proud. It was a labor of love. But I really should have been learning how to write HTML code and JavaScript and whatever, Apache and whatever people use now. I'm so out of the loop as far as web programming. It's all done with wizards now anyways, with very little actual coding, but I wasted my time writing programs in QuickBasic 4.5. But I liked it. That's the thing. And so you could move around the map, and basically I had a 10 by 10 grid which represented the galaxy, and I had fleets of whatever Klingon warships. I forgot what I called them, in different sectors. And I had a basic, I wouldn't even call it AI, but some sort of decision tree for the movement of their fleets. If there was an adjacent planet in the next system over, they'd move on to it and try to conquer it. And then there'd be a chance every turn of them conquering a planet, depending on how many ships there were. But there'd also be a chance they might get shot down. I had random events and whatever. So you move around your local sector in like a roguelike, one step at a time. But then if you wanted to move from one system to the next, you move off the board onto the next board, in which case there'd be like a trigger a time event, and a random event would happen. It would calculate the attacks on the planets. Or if you found a warp gate, because in this case I didn't implement warp drive, I used it like a Stargate type thing, kind of like Babylon 5. You have the jump nodes, and I had like a jump node system, and I had each time you play the game, it would randomly distribute jump nodes, and like you could have up to 3 jump nodes in a system going up to 3 other systems, and I had like a program to procedurally generate that. So each time you played, the planets were in different places, and there was like friendly planets. If you went to a friendly planet, they'd repair and refuel you completely. Neutral planets will allow you to trade with them. So like you could give them like your energy reserves, and they'll give you torpedoes, or you can trade torpedoes for energy. It was a pretty simple economy. And enemy planets, they were conquered by the enemy, and so you couldn't get anything from them. I don't remember if you could attack enemy planets and like sterilize them or not. I don't recall. Again, this is back in like what, 07, 08. Again, in my late 20s, fucking around with QuickBasic when I should have been learning anything else with my time. I don't even know if I completely finished the game. I had it like a working prototype, and I tweaked it a bit, and I wasn't very happy with it. But you could start a game, and you'd have, you could have a difficulty level based on how many fleets of enemy ships there were, right? And then you just play. The battles, like the roguelike battles, were pretty simple. I had a very, very simple decision tree. I just had the enemy ships they'd have like I think I want to say it was like a courage rate or something. They would get closer to you if they could, because their phasers did more damage at close range than at long range. I had like some sort of range diminishing variable. So if they were kind of cowardly, they wouldn't approach much. They would just fire from a distance and snipe at you. Or if you had, they would get closer if they could and like hit you harder. And I think that's how it worked. And the more I think about it, the more I doubt it, so I'm just going to let that go. It wasn't very good. I used a line of sight routine that I learned about, for roguelike games. If there was like a star or something between you and the enemy ship, they wouldn't fire their phasers. And likewise, if you want to fire torpedoes at them, it might just get absorbed by the star. So why am I talking about this dumbass, retro Super Star Trek style roguelike game that I never totally finished or published or got credit for or anything like that? I wasted so much of my youth doing things that I loved or liked, but didn't really add any value. I mean, I was working a shit job, making shit money, and I did overtime as needed, as much as I could get. Even I wasted a lot of my youth. When I was working as exterminator, again, this was back in like 03 to 06. And during our training course, we kind of some argument, I don't know, with the other people training about money and investments, and I was talking about why gold's a good preserver of wealth, and at the time gold was only like $300 to $350 an ounce. Sorry, I'm just watching this really tall guy's pants kept falling down. And anyways, it occurred to me now that gold's going like $3,000 to $4,000 an ounce. If I just bought gold then when I was talking like all this fucking wisdom and held on to it, just, a coin a month. If I had 10 coins, I'd have $30,000 right now. I could just cash out. Even if I didn't sell it full value, I'd get like $25,000. I'd have like just a bank. I would be in debt. I'd be able to pay off my debts. Probably replace this stupid fucking car. Wouldn't be stressed about money, at least. There's a lot of things I knew. I knew America was fucked. I knew, I didn't believe the 9/11 story or any of that. But there was no knowing like when the collapse phase would go in earnest. I thought things would accelerate, and they didn't. Like, it's a slow burn collapse. So I decided, I guess, just to live life and enjoy it while I could. And now here I am, old man. Definitely not as spry as I used to be. and in debt again, and needing to get out, and wishing I was thinking about old Steve when I was young Steve, but I didn't. And that's just life, you know. I chose to make a stupid fucking roguelike game that didn't amount to anything. I didn't share it with anyone but my inner friend group, that group which ended up blowing up in a couple years later anyways. And a fucking waste of time. That's all. I guess that's all the story I have to tell you. I have to go in and get some something from my client from the store. And then I need to get a pizza. I don't know. I'm supposed to hypothetically go out with a friend of mine I haven't seen in a while and go sing karaoke, but I don't know if that's going to happen. All right. Thanks for watching.